All right. Welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Bowen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how are we doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Coming off a good win streak right now for the Bucks, so can't hate right now.
Well, we're also coming off another Packers playoff loss, so I do want to temper
That is
expectations
correct.
a little bit. Hey, you know what? Got my little Packers sweatshirt on, and unfortunately, a tough loss last night. But
It's always
you know
go
what?
Pack go though.
But you always go Pack go. Unfortunately, it's just somebody when all those videos get replayed of life as a Wisconsin sports fan, it just brings nothing but pain, but pain with only a little shred of happiness in between.
Yep.
So let's just get right into it. Evan and I are going to be discussing the games against the Hornets, Kings, Warriors, and Lakers, and let's just kind of kick things off. Milwaukee played last week against the Charlotte Hornets. Snuck out a 122 to 121 win. Yeah,
Came to the
at this
final
point,
play.
huh?
Came to that final play.
Oh, that's right. The Giannis lob alley-oop. That was. Here's the thing. The problem I have, okay, and so I guess before I get into my little spiel, what did you see in Milwaukee's very close, razor thin win against the Hornets?
Just super back and forth. Really slow start though for the Bucks in the first quarter, almost giving up 40 points to their 24, so a little bit under. About down 14 that is, but yeah, being able to bounce back in that second half, and I think a lot of it just came down to the defense near the end of the game and being able to close it out. Obviously, they were hitting some bigger baskets near the end, but obviously, big thing is being able to actually close the game out with a win. Bucks I feel like, have been in this situation a lot where they're either shooting for the game-winning shot or they're trying to defend it. Obviously, Bucks had a little bit of time left later on, but a lot of it, I think, outside of that, though, is just fouls. I feel like a lot of the fouls were happening. Some of them were a little iffy, but late in the game, especially to give the Hornets that lead, again, with the free throws itself, just a lot of just stupid fouling that led to a lot of unnecessary points and baskets itself. But no, huge game from Giannis and Rollins. Rollins just a point away from 30 as well. Shot 11 of 13. Almost shot 100% from his threes, made 6 of his 7. And then chipped in 8 assists as well and a couple steals. So huge game, obviously, from him. Honestly, everyone played well except Miles Turner, who only had 1 point, didn't make a field goal. But I think biggest impact of the game has to be Kevin Porter Jr. and Giannis near the end with the go-ahead basket near the end of the fourth quarter. Just being able to, obviously, Giannis drawing it up and being able to actually execute it, as well as second thing, you can make up a play, but might not go well, but being able to read each other well and close it out. Great overall game, beating the Hornets then 3-1 in the series because they're already done playing them with that scheduling. But no, fun game to watch. This is one of the definitive of great basketball. Obviously, it's the Hornets, and we shouldn't be in this situation, but hey, I'll take a win at this point, no matter how they can get it.
Yeah, and see that's the part that I'm like really worried about. Is if we're and now granted, here's what I will grant Milwaukee grace on. They had just played Charlotte like a few days before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll grant them grace for the fact that, okay, when you play a team back to back like Milwaukee did Charlotte, it can be very, very tough to be like, okay, like, because you already know each other's tendencies. Like, you just played each other. So you know that Milwaukee is going to feed Giannis. And, you know that, okay, like, everything's going to run through Giannis. Okay. Like, can the other guys step up? And unfortunately, I don't think Milwaukee had this in mind when they signed Miles Turner to where he's only going to pick up 1 point. Okay. That's absolutely an unacceptable performance. You cannot have your $100 million center only have 1 point in the game. One. Like that, like so what that shows me is he didn't do enough to either get in the paint, draw fouls, or he was just settling for jump shots. That's what that sounds like to me. Okay, just based on watching it, it sounds like he was just settling for jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be, if you're Doc Rivers, you got to be like, dude, you got to be better. Because I'm looking at it and it's like it barely even looked like he. Oh, excuse me, hang on. This was in the fourth quarter. But even looking at I'm even looking at the fourth quarter numbers. He didn't even play any of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he played 22 minutes, same as Bobby. Well, Bobby had 20 points off the bench, 7-11 shooting. Miles Turner did not.
No, Evan, so that's even more of a concern with the fact that Miles Turner, for some of these games hasn't been in those clutch situations, right? They've chosen to go with Bobby Portis or that's been mainly about it. Or sometimes they've gone with Miles Turner, but and I'm sure there's Bucks fans wondering, well, why is Jericho Sims not getting more run? Okay, and you know what? Honestly, I've been watching Jericho Sims very closely, and I can tell you exactly why Jericho Sims hasn't been getting more run. Do you notice that he picks up at least one illegal screen a game?
Mm-hmm.
One illegal screen a game. I'm sorry, you are going to lose playing time if you cannot screen properly. I don't think people realize that in an NBA game, it is all the little things. It's not just being able to score or defense or rebound, stuff like that. You have to do all the little things correct as well. Screening is a huge part of Jericho Sims' game. Being a rolling big, that's a huge part of his game. And when you're constantly getting illegal screens, because I looked it up, it was at least 5 or 6 games where he was picking up at least one of those offensive fouls per game to where he was knocking a guy down or sticking his leg out or that's why he's lost playing time is because he kept doing the little things like screening incorrectly. From my viewpoint, because I don't even think he played this week.
He played 2 minutes in the Hornets game and picked up 2 fouls in that time frame.
And one of them was an illegal screen.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not play the rest of the week either. He hasn't played against the Kings. He didn't play against the Warriors. And I didn't see him against the Lakers.
No, he's too fast. He's thinking one step ahead.
Yeah, and again, and I think that's probably the reason why Ajax doesn't get as many minutes as we want him to. Because I think he falls into the same category of he's just the game's moving too fast for him, right? And look, it stinks because Jericho Sims at one point he started with Miles Turner, but again, when you just can't do the little things properly, you're not you're gonna lose you're gonna lose minutes. This was. Kevin Porter Jr. also really struggled in this game, which again I think is frustrating because I like Kevin Porter Jr. I do think though that the weakness of his game is right now. Well, number one, he turns the ball over too much.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing, and number two, I do think there is a level to where he's a score first guard, right? I'm not saying he's gonna be like Drew Holiday, right? But he is a score first guard, and the problem is when you're a score first guard and you're missing shots, the rest of the offense can't really flow. And I'll say this: look for him to be a potential trade target if Milwaukee is committed to improving the roster, because. Think about it last year. Kevin Porter Jr. played decently well for the Clippers, and he got traded for Marjon Beauchamp.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was a throw-in trade, and that actually ended up working out well for Milwaukee. But if he could cut down on the turnovers a little bit, and not do the thing that Eric Bledsoe used to do, which is get in the lane, be like, oh shoot, and then you just try to throw the ball back out, it's a turnover, or you get stripped or something like that. Because I do think KPJ, again, like I say, he's not Drew Holiday, but he can steal the ball. He's got quick hands.
Mm-hmm.
But again, But when he's not making his shots, it's like it makes it very hard for the rest of the offense to be able to flow. But again, this game was particularly frustrating because like Milwaukee should not have to be staging comebacks against the Hornets. They have like they don't have that many wins this year. They're rebuilding. Okay, like this should not continue to be a thing. But I mean, look, Evan, when you look at it, these have basically been all Milwaukee's wins this year. Just frustrating, like grind them out, like, and it just feels like even when they're up, they will still let you back in the game.
Yep.
And that's the frustrating thing.
It's a great transition to the Kings game.
Exactly, because Milwaukee, the first like 3 quarters, that looked like a blowout win to me. And then all of a sudden, the Kings cut it to 4. They cut it to like 85-81. And you may ask, well, why did that happen? The non-Giannis minutes. The non-Giannis minutes. Like, I know Milwaukee hasn't been very good about when Giannis has been on the forward. The scoring's been very tough to come by. But goodness gracious, if you can't even hold like a 26-point lead in the third quarter, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I truly don't, because it's not like the Sacramento Kings. I understand they're an NBA team and they're full of NBA players, but goodness gracious, it's the Kings. They're not good. Okay, like the fact that Doc Rivers, and I will put this solely on Doc Rivers, because I understand it's like, well, Corey, he's not shooting the ball. Okay, but he can run actions to help put the players currently on the court in a position to succeed. He can run an action for Bobby Portis. He can run an action for Kyle Kuzma. He can run an action for Porter Jr., Rollins, Green, Trent Jr. Like, he can run stuff to either get to the line, or if they're not making shots, like, run something to break up the offense a little bit so they're not just always shooting threes. But again, if Milwaukee, it feels like wants to live and die by the 3. And look, that's an admirable thing. But when it's not going in, you have to get to the hole. You have to draw a foul. You have to have something happen. Because they don't do that. And again, watching the game, it's not like the Kings have like this, rim protector. Sabonis has like a knee injury, like knee surgery. So like what? So who's the rim protector? Precious Achua? Like, come on, you can drive the paint and you can draw a few fouls against the Kings. They're not like the thing is, here's the reason why teams blow these big leads is because they go away from what was working. Okay, they feel like, all right, well, we need to keep shooting threes. And it feels like when Milwaukee gets a lead, it feels like that lead's capped somewhere, where it's like, okay, say if it's like 25, they can't go up that to 30 or 35. It feels like, all right, 25, and then we don't score for 6 minutes.
Yep, they'll give it up, but then they'll get it back to 23 to 25, and then it staggers.
Yeah, it's just like look, what's with all those assistants that are out helping Doc Rivers if they can't help him draw something up? Like do something, break it up. Like it's the Kings. Okay, the Kings have less than 10 wins this year. Do they have 10 wins yet?
8.
They're still at 8?
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, let me see. That was at the time that they were playing them.
That was at the time of the game.
Yeah, they're probably at. Oh no, they're still at 8. They're 8-30.
Okay, an 8-win team, and they almost came back against you. Like, that's just inexcusable. And the part that makes me mad about that entire thing is with John Horst, and we hear multiple things saying oh, well, they believe in the roster constructed around Giannis. How can you say that with a straight face, and yet you're almost blowing leads to the Kings?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it makes us feel like the entire fan base is looking at the roster. They see how everyone's trying to meld together, and I'm sorry, I don't believe in the roster. There's no fan base like even the diehard Bucks fans will watch every game this season. Nobody believes in this roster. You don't. Okay? Like, it is very hard to dig yourself in a hole like this and then pull yourself out. All right? This is going to be a perfect litmus test for where Milwaukee is because it's already after Christmas. Okay? Christmas is the perfect time to know where Milwaukee's at. And right now, what I'm seeing is a non-contending team. Now, let's not mistake that for I think they're going to trade Giannis at the head of the deadline or at the deadline. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that it's probably going to be one of those things where it's like, all right, well, we're probably going to have to
do something to.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be traded.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in the second half of the podcast. But right now, I just want to move on to the next game. Evan, the Chase Center for Milwaukee has just been like a house of horrors. Okay, yep. I don't remember the last time that they beat the Warriors at their place, but it was not this game. Milwaukee got absolutely, it was started off good enough, but then big second quarter for the Warriors. Big third quarter, Milwaukee, of course, did what they always do. It's like, oh, we're going to have a pretty good fourth quarter. They lost 120 to 113. Unfortunately for the Bucks, vintage Steph Curry came back.
Yep.
31 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Even Draymond Green had, he chipped in 14 off the bench. He chipped in 14. And Jimmy Butler, 21. But that was really about it. I mean, like, it was just basically those three guys. Win post, chipped in a nice little 11. So, again, this one goes back to my point. You can't dig a hole against the Golden State Warriors and expect to win. Mm-hmm. No matter how the Warriors are. And do I think they're done contending for championships? Yeah, I don't see them winning another one in the Steph Curry era. I think that the last one is just – that was probably the last one that they were going to win. It was a good run. And it's not even just me saying that. Steve Kerr said as much, or it's like, look, we're not with like the Thunder, or we're not like one of the top Western Conference teams. Like, that's kind of over with now. So I guess in Milwaukee's loss against Golden State, what did you see?
I think the biggest one was how we mentioned earlier, turnovers. A lot of the turnovers I feel like just led to easy baskets, which obviously I'll mention in the Lakers one as too. But no, it just felt like, no, they're close, first quarter tied up 31-31. And then all of a sudden it's just, there it goes. It takes that one quarter. And I feel like a lot of it just being, the amount of fast break, or excuse me, not the fast breaks, the turnovers, scoring 15 points on turnovers, for the Bucks. And then where did it go? Where did my stat go? 8 for them, but it still felt like it came at those crucial points. And then the other big thing, 3-pointers. Again, Curry's going to be Curry. No matter what, he's going to have 2 or 3 in a row. I feel like whenever he's hot, a heat check will come no matter what. But no, just a lot of sloppy play. Being able to come back to was great, but no, this is just one of those instances where you just lose in one quarter. Again, if they obviously played a little better, it would have been a lot closer. Only lost by 7. But still, it's just when you have an off quarter against the Warriors, again, it's just not something that you're going to be able to really dig out of. It'd be rare. I checked the last time they had won on the road against the Warriors was in 2020. So it's been a good chunk of time since. But no, the big thing was just the second quarter, again, only scoring 22 points. Everyone was off. It just felt like they couldn't buy a bucket that quarter. But yeah, because then they close them out in the fourth. So it just takes that one to really set you back and not be able to dig out of it, essentially.
Yeah, and then I forgot a random role player went off against them too. So that was chef's kiss on top. D'Anthony Melton had 22.
Yep.
Actually, there was a little bit of a interesting thing about that. He hadn't played against Milwaukee since 2022 because I think he dealt with like knee injuries and stuff like that. And you know what? Hey, Golden State can really take anybody and turn them into like a really good player. D'Anthony Melton, he was that guy.
Three after three after three.
But let's not forget about Al Horford either. Al Horford, known Bucks killer,
10
hit 2
rebounds.
threes, 8 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, like literally, anytime Al Horford, doesn't matter where Al Horford is, like we'll be seeing that guy in our dreams and nightmares because that guy, I'm telling you, he
can't escape him.
Cannot escape Al Horford, man. He he's the ageless wonder. But again, Milwaukee didn't shoot that bad. They shot like 54%, so it wasn't like Golden State was defending at a high level. The problem is Giannis is the only one who everybody scored in double figures. And even Kuzma chipped in 13. It's just they couldn't defend.
Yeah, stats were similar. They just had a couple more threes.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't defend good enough. And the points off turnovers, again, Milwaukee had 12 turnovers, 52 points to the paint. But, they hit 18 threes, and they went 14 of 18 from the line.
Yep, that was the decision maker.
So, and I think the other thing too, it's guarding Jimmy Butler is a really, really hard task. So good at getting guys to jump into him and just being able to draw fouls. Jimmy Butler, that's his skill. Is he got AJ Green on that a couple times, just being able to just get a guy jump in the air and then he jumps into him and it's a foul that. That's a skill right there that most players have, but nobody does that at a high level than Jimmy Butler or James Harden or guys like that. Even Shea, throw Shea into there. Those guys really draw a lot of fouls like that. All right, moving on, and this is where the Bucks are just a really hard team to get a read on. They beat the Lakers the other night
in LA too.
In LA, now here's what I will say. Okay, the Lakers. Because they didn't have Austin Reeves and they didn't have Rui Hachimura. Okay, they're one of those teams where without they just had LeBron and Luka. That's I'm sorry, that's kind of where it ends there because they had Luka and LeBron and Laravia added 13, but other than that, nobody really did anything. From what I noticed, Gabe Vincent hit a couple threes. Laravia hit a good shot, but I'm Marcus Smart, Kleba, Vincent Jackson Hayes, they're just the rest of the roster is outside of those 3 or 4 guys, very, very iffy.
Yeah, chipped in a few, but heavy LeBron and Luka, seeing that they shot 46 combined field goal attempts compared to everyone else out of their 91.
Yeah, hey, and by the way, I don't want to hear anybody say LeBron's slowing down because trust me, he still looked like LeBron the other night. Maybe obviously not defending at a LeBron level. I mean, but he could still he got
rebound
that
away from a triple double.
Dude, he got that steal from Giannis, man. That was Giannis LeBron pressed him full court and LeBron able to get that steal and bucket. That was that's vintage LeBron right there. And again, it's good in a world in which, superstars are going to be leaving soon. It's going to be insane to think about not having an NBA without Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, or LeBron James because
they just keep getting better.
LeBron is not slowing. LeBron, I don't care what anybody says, he's not slowing down at all. He missed the start of the season, but he's still LeBron freaking James. He's played in the league for over 20 years. Think about that for a second. 20 years. He's playing against other people's dads. That's how insane it is. he's legitimately played against millions of basketball players across the world. It is insane. But like like look, they still got Luka, who by the way, I love Luka, but damn it, man, stop.
I was going to mention that the foul at the end.
That was a foul. Like the foul on Porter Jr. That was a foul.
He jumped high on that one.
You clipped his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Marcus Johnson was like, dude, that could have been reviewed for like a dangerous close. I'm like, that was a foul, and like that, unfortunately, that was his last foul, so he fouled out. But I'm like, dude, that's a foul. You can't clip somebody's leg when they're shooting. Like that's a foul. Like I don't know how else to put it. But again, he looks like he's getting a little better on the defensive end. He doesn't look as big as he was, like, but still, it's like, God damn it, dude, stop bitching to the officials.
Yep.
Like at some
review
point,
it either.
They didn't review it. Like it's just like, dude, what are we doing? Bucks, 11 points. That's at 21. Kevin Porter Jr. 22. Kuzma chipping in 13. Bobby Portis 11.
Yeah, this was a big game for Kuzma, Portis, and Kevin Porter Jr. I just felt like every play they were somehow involved, especially late in the end. I know they had I don't remember. It was the three of them, but just excellent ball movement around the wing, being able to find an open shooter, and just they somehow contributed to, I feel like, a large portion of the plays, and it made the flow better. I'm like, someone's going to get traded out of these three people, or two of them are going to get traded, and it's just one of those things where it's some games they're just, what are they doing? And then some games they're on. So again, it's one of those love-hate relationships with some of these guys.
Yeah, and look, I think Kuz always has something extra for that because he used to play in LA.
Yep.
So I don't know if he gets like an extra like motivation by just being back playing against his old team.
Mm-hmm.
And these are some guys because, like, LeBron's still there. I don't think Reeves was there yet by the time, but LeBron's still there. We're trying to think of how many players are still there when Kuzma won a championship in LA. I think because he played there, I think till 2022. I want to say.
Yeah, he won the ring with them 2020.
Yep.
Was it just LeBron?
Because they got Jake LaRavia wasn't there, DeAndre Ayton wasn't there, Luka Doncic.
Jackson Hayes, I think, was on the
Pelicans. Yeah, and I think Jared Vanderbilt at the time was on the Timberwolves. Yeah, I think it's just. Yeah, I think it's just LeBron who's like left from that 2020 championship team. Because I think Rui, I believe. Oh wait, maybe Rui got traded for Jared Vanderbilt. I want to say. Because I know Kuzma got traded to the Wizards, so I don't know if it was like a package deal with Rui and.
No, I just looked up the roster. It's only LeBron.
It is only LeBron.
That's crazy. Deion Waiters on that team.
Caruso
and
okay.
Danny
Here
Green.
it is. So like,
crazy.
That's right. So Kuzma got traded for Russell Westbrook, 2021. I forgot about that. That's funny.
Yeah, that's a wild lineup.
Jared
Dudley, Quinn Cook,
Jared Dudley. That's
known Buck.
Dude, I love me some Jared Dudley. So, all right. Evan and I are just going to move on to the second portion of this podcast. Thank you for tuning into the first one, and we'll see you guys in a couple minutes.